Hello everyone, this is Donna, and I am with Vote Voiced. I want to thank you for listening to our podcast. I want to thank you, everyone who has made donations to Vote Voice. Vote Voice is a 501c3 nonprofit, and all of your donations are tax deductible. You can follow us on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We have some things on TikTok. We try to be on every platform that we can. Go to our website, www.votevoiced.com. Today, our podcast is about voting now. Right now, early voting is going on throughout the United States. I want to remind you that this podcast is about the state of Michigan, but no matter what state you're in, think about what I'm saying and go look at your Secretary of State's office and find out the information you need to know. Right now, in the state of Michigan, there are 3 ways to vote. You can vote early in person with an absentee ballot at your city, township clerk's office, and that started Thursday, September the 24th, and it goes through Monday, November 2nd. So that's one way to vote. And the weekend of October 31st to November 1st, 2020, the clerk's offices must be open for at least 8 hours for in-person absentee voting. Okay? So, the second way to vote is you can vote by your absentee ballot. Now, the deadline to return your application to request an absentee ballot is October 30th. Okay? If you get to that deadline, okay, it's recommended that after November 20th, you drop your absentee ballot at your clerk's office or a secure drop box, because your absentee ballot must be received by your clerk by 8 p.m. on November 3rd. If it's postmarked by November 3rd, that is not considered acceptable. Now, they say that the deadline, the Secretary of State is saying that the deadline to return your application to request an absentee ballot is October 30th. But with the uncertainty of the mail, if you decide you want to vote absentee, you can go into the clerk's office, okay, which from the weekend of October 31st till November 1st, the clerk's office will be open, okay, for in-person absentee voting. You'll go in, request an application, okay, and fill it out there, or you can take it home, take it back, get your ballot, fill that out, give it to the clerk, okay? Now, if you want to request an absentee ballot, you can just go to michigan.gov/vote, okay? You can track your ballot application and your ballot if you're mailing it. If you mail your ballot, okay, you need to mail it as early as possible. Mail it right away, okay? Don't wait. Okay, they're suggesting that you get your ballot in the mail by the 20th of October. But that might be, do it. Some people must mail their ballot in because they have no choice. They can't get out. If you can get out and take your ballot, your absentee ballot, because everyone, okay, will receive their absentee ballot. I have mine. It was mailed out on the 24th of September, and my ballot came in the mail on the 25th, and I was so excited. I'm so excited. I am going to return my ballot in a drop box in my city. I'm going to do that Monday. Now, my clerk's office, okay, I'm going to double check, but right now, because of the COVID, my clerk's office is open up from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a Sunday and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on a Monday. So I am going to fill out my ballot, and I am going to take my ballot to the clerk's office and area. I found out, I called up the clerk, and I found out where I can take my ballot and drop it off in a drop box. And I'm going to do that. I found out the address, made sure my address was written down, made sure that I understood where the clerk's office is. I called up the clerk. They're very nice. I needed to do it to find out where the drop box was. Some places may not have a drop box. You'll have to take it directly into the clerk. I'm not sure where all the drop boxes are. You can just call up your clerk, like I did, and just ask them, where's the drop box? And I'm taking my ballot in by next week, okay? I'm not sure. The drop boxes should be all open from a certain time in the morning to a certain time in the evening, okay? Just check and just get your ballot in early. I cannot stress that enough, because we want to take the burden off of our postal workers, and we do not want to take any chances, because there's a lot of misinformation about voting, and the closer we get, everyone agrees, the closer we get to our election, the more misinformation will get out. Okay? Okay. Now, you can vote on Election Day here, of course, Election Day. Okay. Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd, and the polls in Michigan are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay? Go to michigan.gov/vote and or I would go to michigan.gov/polling place, okay? And find your polling place. Go to your Michigan Secretary of State. Call your city clerks, okay, if you don't know where it is. And most polling places are right there in your neighborhood. And most polling places, if you're able, you can walk. Now, listen, Lyft, okay, is going to offer I believe 50% off on rides the day of the election all over the country. And there's a coupon that you use. Go to the Lyft, okay? To the Lyft, I think it should be Lyft.com, and check that out and find out exactly in your state what the code is. It should be the same code, okay? I think it's Vote 2020, but find out. And you can get 50% off going to the polls, okay, if you need a lift. All right? So it's a good thing Lyft is doing that, and that will help everyone who is going to the polls. Okay? It's just so important, everybody. It's important we get information out. Okay? It's important for us to vote in this election. The 2020 presidential election, everybody, is fast approaching. And everyone, your vote is important to your community. Everybody voting shapes your future and the future of your family, your town, your city, and your state. And you vote for more than just a president on November 3rd. You vote for our local offices. You vote for senators. You vote for issues that will affect all of us for the next 4 years and beyond. Because the promise of all of our futures inspire all of us to vote. Okay? You can register to vote and vote in person on election day at your city, state, or township clerk's office until 8 p.m. If you do not have any identification, okay, I was speaking to a young lady, and she was trying to make sure everyone in her family was registered to vote. Your impact, okay, amongst your own family is also important. We must do everything we can within our universe of our lives to make sure everybody votes. And that's all we can do. We can let people know. Like, I have a podcast. I have a nonprofit to get out the vote. Okay? But every single one of us can reach out to our family members and make sure that everyone is ready to vote. Okay? This is October the 26th, 2020. Okay? This podcast will in time become dated because election laws change and things change. But right now, okay, until November the 3rd, 2020, this podcast is important. Now, what I'm saying to you is something that you can take into the future, and is something that will always be important no matter when you hear this podcast. All right? Now, November the 2nd, 2020 at 4 p.m. is the deadline for already registered voters to vote in person at their city or township clerk's office. Okay? November the 3rd, 2020 is election day. Again, I can't say it enough. You're going to hear me repeating things, but that's okay. We must know sometimes the information we need, we may not understand it. We may be confused, but the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Election day is November 3rd. It is not November 4th. And something else I heard, okay? There is no day to vote if you're a Democrat. And there is no day to vote if you are Republican. Every American who is 18 or older, who is registered to vote, who wants to vote, who wants to register, okay? You can do that at your polls in some states. In Michigan, I do know that you can even sign an affidavit as to who you are. We're going to discuss that further down the line. But we all vote as Americans on the same day, November the 3rd, 2020 is election day. I repeat, the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. No matter who you're voting for, we all vote together on the same day. If you register another way in order to vote on November 3rd, 2020, your completed voter registration application must be received or postmarked by October 19th, 2020. After October 19th, 2020, all applications must be submitted to your local city or township clerk's office in person. Now, you need to bring your proof of eligibility and residency. You can use your Michigan driver's license or your state ID, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Or if you don't have this, then you can use that. If you have a Michigan driver's license, you can use that. If you do not, then you can use your state ID. If you do not have a Michigan's driver's license or a state ID, then you can use a current utility bill. Or if you do not have a current utility bill, you can use a bank statement. Or if you do not have a Michigan driver's license, if you do not have a state ID, if you do not have a current utility bill, or if you do not have a bank statement, you can use a paycheck or you can use a government check or any other government document. If you don't have any of that and you're homeless, you can still vote. Okay? You can still vote. Now, you must be a Michigan resident at the time you register and a resident of your city or township for at least 30 days when you vote, okay? You must be a United States citizen, okay? You must be at least 18 years of age when you vote. And in Michigan, you cannot be currently serving a sentence in jail or in prison. Now, if you have served your jail sentence, okay, or released from prison, okay, you can vote, okay? You can vote. If you are currently waiting, okay, to be sentenced and you have not been sentenced yet, you can vote. Okay, it's only when after you've been sentenced, then you cannot vote. Okay, but if you have not been sentenced, let's say you're going to go into court on the 4th to be sentenced, you can vote. Listen, if you're supposed to be sentenced on November 3rd, I don't think there's a court open at 7 a.m. Run in there before they sentence you and vote, because you can vote. Okay? If you want to vote absentee, we're going to talk about it again. And many people call this vote by mail. Absentee and vote by mail are the same day. Are the same thing. You can request an absentee ballot at michigan.gov. And look, they already sent out our ballots, okay? starting September 24th, okay, ballots will be starting to be mailed. Like I said before, I've already received mine, okay? So once you receive your ballot, you can return it by mail, local drop box, or take it directly to your clerk's office. Now, this is a safe and convenient way to vote, and military service members use this method of voting all the time. Okay, I'm going to talk about real quick. There's a statement from Secretary Jocelyn Benson on the passage of Senate Bill 117 and 757. And she says, I am grateful for the bipartisan collaboration of legislative leaders that enabled passage of Senate Bill 117 and Senate Bill 757. The former will ensure military service members and their families stationed overseas will be able to securely and efficiently return their ballots. An issue that is personal to me, and the latter is a step in the right direction to help ease the burden our clerks face in securely processing the significant number of absentee ballots we're expecting citizens to cast this fall. Okay, and she goes on to thank everyone for their shared commitment to protecting both our state's election system and our voters, and their dedication to safe and secure elections. Okay, it's a bipartisan passing, and she went on to thank everybody for that. So our military people have been voting for years, absentee, and we definitely need to be grateful for the strengthening of that. Now, you can keep track of your ballot at Michigan Voter Information Center. You can go to michigan.gov/vote. Now, you can also find your clerk's contact information, and if you wish to call your clerk, and if you wish, you can call your clerk and check on the status of your absentee ballot and mail ballot. All right, absentee and mail-in ballot are the same. Now, this is important. Do not forget to sign the back of the envelope before returning your ballot, okay? Take your time. Don't just slosh that signature, okay? You want to make sure you use your signature. It's your signature that you use on your contracts, the signature that the signature that you use on anything official. Use your official signature on the ballots. Remember, it has to be clear. It can't be sloshy. It can't be cute. It needs to be clear and legible. Okay? Now listen, when you vote, take a friend or a family member too. Do not forget to wear a mask and gloves when you go to vote. Some places you don't have to. Be patient, okay? Be patient with your poll workers and vote early. And vote early. I cannot say this enough. Vote early, okay? You want to vote early, okay? You want to mail back your ballots as soon as possible. I'll say it again. Voting early is best. Because listen, when you vote, your voice is heard. Your vote is your power. Think of it as your superpower. Today, more than any other time in our history, your vote is needed, and your vote, okay, is appreciated. We appreciate all of our voters, people. We want you to vote, okay? We fail ourselves and our community when we do not vote. We empower ourselves when we vote because our vote are our voices. Why wait? Vote now. You can vote before Election Day, okay? Remember, you can vote before Election Day by visiting your clerk's office and requesting a ballot. You can vote now. Do not wait. Vote early at your clerk's office or satellite office. Register to vote and vote before Election Day. Voting has never been so easy and convenient. And if you think it would help, you can make a plan to vote. Okay? Now, your voting plan. I've talked about this in my other podcast, but what time are you going to vote? You're going to vote early. Know your polling place, okay? Know how you're going to get there. You're going to walk. Can you walk? Take Lyft. Lyft is offering 50% off. Okay, check. I'm pretty sure it said 50% off if you use a code. But check again, okay? Check, go to lyft.com. Take someone with you when you vote, okay? Take information when you vote, just in case you need it. If you're not registered, if you have your ID, take it. Remember what we discussed, okay? A current utility bill, a bank statement, a government check, any type of government document, all right? Your lease, take it, okay? You want to be able to prove your residency, okay? So make your plan to vote. So you have options when it comes to voting, including voting in person before Election Day, and you can visit your city and township's clerk office and vote today. Okay, now I want to tell you this. If you need it, okay, call the Election Protection Hotline, and that's 1-866-RVOTE. That's 1-866-687-8883. Okay, now I just want to talk about some important dates. Okay, we're going to go over this. Okay, now right now, okay, you can get you can print out and submit a paper application for an absentee ballot for November 3rd general election. Right now, the Secretary of State's online application for absentee ballots reopens. Okay, now as of September 24th, 2020, in-person absentee voting is available in city and township clerk's office for the November 3rd general election. Okay, October 19th, 2020 is the last day to register to vote online or through the mail for the November general election. You can get registered to vote early and do it online if you can. Now, October 20th through 8 p.m. on Election Day, okay? So from October 20th through the end of Election Day, 8 p.m. when the polls close on Election Day, you must register in person at your city or township clerk's office and provide proof of residency. Once registered, you can vote. So from October 20th through 8 p.m. on Election Day. Now, October 20th, if you plan to submit your completed absentee ballot by mailing it to your clerk, okay, you can put it in the mail by October 20th to be sure it arrives on time. Okay, it's even better, okay, that you submit your completed absentee ballot by dropping it off at your city clerk or township clerk office or ballot drop box provided by your clerk. Now, if you can, drop it off, okay? If not, everyone who's going to mail your ballot, you need to do it by October 20th. Mail it early, okay? The weekend of October 31st to November 1st, 2020, clerks' offices must be open for at least 8 hours. I'll say that for in-person absentee voting. Now, November 2nd, 2020 at 4 p.m., the deadline for already registered voters to vote in person at their city hall or township clerk's office. So you have up to 4 p.m. on November 2nd to go to your city clerk or township's office to vote, okay? November 3rd is Election Day, and the polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time. That's for everybody, okay? We don't have a day to vote for Democrats and a day to vote for Republicans, okay? People, as soon as you can, okay, because you have to fill out your ballot, Take your time, okay? There's something I wanted to say. Make sure you read your ballots. Make sure you fill them out clearly, okay? Make sure you mark read the instructions, okay? Make sure you make your mark correctly. Make sure you use the correct pen. Make sure you sign your envelopes, okay? All right? Make sure your signature is legible, okay? All right? Make sure you put a stamp, of course, on your ballot, all right? We just have to be so careful today how we handle our ballots. We don't want anyone to put our ballots aside, all right? If you can, once again, I say help our postal workers and take your ballot in. Oh, I want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you. I'm so thankful for you. I appreciate your time. Your time is precious, and I appreciate the time you spent with me today in Vote Voice. Once again, Vote Voice is a 501c3 nonprofit, and you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Okay, we're on TikTok. Okay, I even post a Tumblr. Okay, I appreciate you, and I want to thank everyone who has made donations to Vote Voice. Your donation helps us to create this podcast. Your donation helps us to get the word out. Your donation helps us to get the vote out. And we appreciate you so much. This is Donna Miller with Vote Voice. You have a wonderful rest of your week, and thank God for the polls.